Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with my spiritual friend. It's Sunday night, January 17th, 2021. It's 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I am here every Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So you can always catch me. If you miss me one week, I will be back the next. It's fairly rare that I take off a week. I hope everybody's doing well. I see a few of you here already. Hi, KK. KK has a list going already. So remember last week I said the 13th was important, but I wasn't sure what it meant. And they had not announced at that point that they were going to impeach or go to the trial on the 13th. And it turned out on the 13th, that's when they actually impeached Trump. So I don't always know exactly what I'm getting or why I'm getting it, but I thought that was pretty important. I do feel like the inauguration will go smoothly, maybe a few arrests, but nothing crazy or here. And I do feel like there's going to be unrest. I feel like by March, it should sort of start to settle down, but it's going to take a little while. And for some reason, I feel like eventually Fox News will, the people who continue to have the propaganda, the false propaganda, I feel like there will be somehow some kind of penalties or fines or something. But I don't know exactly if it's going to be, if the right people are going to take the fall, right? So I don't know that Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News, will end up taking the rap. I feel like it'll be, the little people, the anchor, the people who are, like, what's his name, Tucker Carlson, all of those people will end up kind of taking the fall for it. Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. KK's here. Thank you, as always. Please like and subscribe. Please share me with your friends. That's basically how I get out there. My numbers haven't been going up here on YouTube because I basically just do these lives and have you guys pay for them. So I don't have the keywords, like free tends to get me out there a little bit more. So if you could share me with your friends, that's how I get all of my clients as well. When I do private readings, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. I hope everybody is well. I'm gonna turn my heat down. I can feel my cheeks flushing. So let's get started. Oh, Patricia wants to do update on relocating. What did I tell you before? So then I can sort of like go, well, does that even still feel right? Hi, Devry. You put in a payment? Let me see. Yep, Devry has for 2 and Isha has 1 as well. And Ellen. So I've got Devry for 2, Isha, and Ellen. Okay. All right. So Ellen, I'll call you. You're a little bit down the road. So I want to start with Patricia, Tracy, or Cindy. Patricia, Patricia, December. I said December, so we were late on the timing. All right. Patricia, are you feeling a lot of anxiety around the movement, like moving? I'm just asking that because that's what I keep feeling is anxiety right now. Hi, Tiffany. Do you have anxiety? Because I just keep feeling anxiety, like a nervous anxiety feeling. Hi, Alyssa. These aren't free readings. They're $5 per question with 30% going to charity, and I've just been giving 30% to some. Okay. I just need to know what I'm feeling and why I'm feeling it. That's why I'm trying to pinpoint it. 30% I'm donating. I donate every week to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey. All right, let's figure out. let's see. I got a payment from Tiffany. So add Tiffany to the list. Okay. Okay. Patricia. I don't feel like it's that far out because they said soon, but I feel like I get this weird image of you like picking things up, but feeling like I'm dropping a lot of things. Were you dropping a lot of things today? It's really weird. It's like I go to pick it up and I go to reach for something and I'm missing it, but it's right there. So it could also be, you sent your payment, Alyssa. Okay, I'll check in just a minute. It could also be the metaphorical of it's right there and I'm reaching and grasping for it and it's just not coming to me. I know you don't say that there's anxiety around it, but it's like I get this sense of urgency. So maybe it's like I'm wanting it to happen so much, it's like I'm pushing it away. Are you working on manifesting it? Like doing your visualization techniques and things like that? You were dropping a lot of things today. Is that what the yes is for? Sorry, I wasn't looking, so I didn't know when it came in. Yes. Okay. So to me, that's validation that what I'm getting, why it's going to happen soon. And the other information that I'm getting about feeling like, there's like a doubtful feeling around it. There's like a no drop. Okay, wait, what's the yes for? I'm gonna wait instead of like, because I'm confused of what the yes and the no is. The yes is for urgency. I'm just gonna keep talking. And then at the end, just you want out of Ottawa fast. Yes, for the urgency. Okay. They keep showing me this, so then it's probably metaphorical of like, I'm just like right there for it. Are you doing manifesting for it? Because yes, urgency. Okay. I understand you want out of Ottawa, but there's something about timing that it's not happening as fast as you want. It's like if you go to manifest something, it's almost to you, and then you go, oh, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I just know it's not going to happen. And you sort of end up pushing it away from yourself. So there's sort of like just sit and hold tight and see yourself in Vancouver. Start looking for apartments there. Start looking for things there as if you're already going, and it'll start moving it to you faster. I keep getting soon. So I had this last time. I keep feeling soon, soon, soon. So it could be February, March. Timing's not always perfect. I wish it was. Like sometimes like I got the 13th very clearly that was a very specific date. Like I said, like February, March, I'm not getting like that, but it's almost like that urgent feeling kind of like holds it at bay. It's right there. It feels like when they're showing me that it's right there. Um, so this is something important because they said what you're wanting to leave in Ottawa is going to follow you in a sense to Vancouver. So that feeling of I'll be more at peace if I'm not here. I'll find, there'll be better people there. It's a more laid back city. I don't know anything about Ottawa or Vancouver, to be honest with you. I mean, I know Vancouver is like on the water and it's really pretty. I don't know anything. I don't know much about Canada. Itsy bitsy bits. So I don't know if like it's a more progressive like group. Like my comparison is the way I feel is like if I'm moving from, I don't know. It's just this feeling of like thinking that the people are going to be better there. The energy is going to be better there. So I'm going to be happy there, or I'm going to find something more there. It's like whatever I'm not meeting here is actually within me. So whatever, crazy here. Whatever I'm not feeling fulfilled with, it's really within me. There's like, I think there's a Buddhist saying about, find peace within and then everything falls into place. It's not trying to make everything fall into place and then you'll be peaceful within. It's the opposite. Retirement. Yeah, but to me, it feels like, so I can only tell you how they make me feel about it. So sometimes I don't have it's just these feelings of I'll be happier there if I'm there. I'll be better there. And they're sort of like, it's not about location for you. You need to like this in here needs to kind of get right. So it's look, while you're still here and waiting for everything to fall into place for you to get there, and I really don't feel like it's that far out. I really, really don't. Find peace within where you're at. Find the gratitude for where you are. Find the things that you appreciate about where you're at. Do the I ams. Like, I'm totally content. I am retired. Everything is working out great. I'm living exactly where I want to. Kind of like as if you already have it. It will really help. Um, um, it's also, they're sort of talking about that you live for the goal instead of the journey. It's like you're very goal setting. So like once I get there, I've hit my goal and then I have my next thing and then I have my next thing. And they're sort of like, just enjoy the process as you get there because that's really what it's all about. The goal is nothing. Like you hit the goal, okay, whatever. That's your moment of perfection. But there's all this really great juicy stuff in the details and the story along the way. And they're sort of like, just kind of enjoy that. You're going to get there. It's not, you're getting there this year. That I do know you're getting there this year and it's sooner than you think. And it does feel very soon. It just, for whatever reason, what's your holdup on your end? Do you feel like? Because my sense is the holdup is you like this internal struggle of not, because really I believe in manifestation and I believe the universe brings you everything that you could ever want. You just have to believe it. No money. Okay, that's the manifesting part where you're kind of holding it back. So go to Roxy Talks and get right with the money. Like, so do the affirmations about money, where it's money flows to me easily, money flows like water. Be happy to pay your bills. Don't feel like it's a like, oh, like where am I going to find the money for this? Because if you had money, you would just be like, oh, here, just writing it, no problem. It goes out like easy. It's not an issue. It just readjusts your vision with money. See the money coming to you. I still feel like you're going to get some sort of payment. I don't understand where it comes from, but I feel like you're going to get some sort of payment that's going to come in. So I know you said that Canada doesn't have like a COVID relief type payment thing, but I still feel like you're going to get something. I wish I could explain that. Lottery, take it. I win the lottery easily. The money, like universe just wants me to have money. The universe wants me to win. Those winning lottery numbers just find their way to me because they are so excited for me to be the winner of the lottery. I know it sounds weird, but I did this thing with scratch offs one time, just more about just trying to see, like, and it was like every time I buy a scratch off, I win. And literally every time I buy a scratch off, I win. It's just like these little, I don't buy them all the time. It's just like this random little, since I don't do a whole lot of things where I think it's impossible for somebody to give me a free coffee. And I don't really want a free coffee from a stranger. No offense right now with COVID. I just don't know about everybody's germs. Plus, I'm in my house all the time and I make my own coffee. But keep busy and just like do the money affirmations and do the self-confidence affirmations and the feeling good about yourself and like being happy in your situation and figuring out. So there's like gratitude stuff. They talk about gratitude. It's just that feeling of like work on all of this and then it's sort of everything kind of falls into place easier. I know that's not exciting and a sexy reading, but sometimes we all get caught up on the mundane, and those are the things that are stopping us from moving forward. It has nothing to do with like it's not possible for those big amazing things to happen to us in life, but we set these limitations and we sort of put everything we put everything like we hold it away from us. I even see like these crazy things where I'm like, why wasn't I manifesting that? Or why, I'll even ask my guides, like, what's my block? What's stopping me here? Why am I not getting this? They'll give it to you, they'll show you. Um, I try to teach everybody that because we always sort of forget that stuff when we're in the moment and in the like, I want. Why isn't it coming to me? Tracy, Cindy B, you're up. I agree with Allie. Maybe taking things slow. Let's see. Did anybody else post a question? I'll scroll back up. There's Tracy. I was curious if my friend Logan and I have shared past lifetimes together. We had such a strong soul connection. Okay. Cindy, right away. I didn't even read it. I just read the second question. I actually feel like it will be a private practice that they'll be with. I think it might be leadership. Sorry, Tracy, because this one's just a little bit more direct and it won't take me that long. But there is some direct care. So it may be, how like they do intakes. So it may be that you're doing an intake and sort of getting an idea for what the patient would be like, and then passing it to the therapist that you think that person would fit the best. I know that that's what happened for me when I went to therapy. The first time I went, I saw one person, and then she matched me with my therapist. So it might be something like that. Whoops. But I don't feel like it's government, and I don't feel like it's nonprofit. I feel like it's more of a private practice. You recently got. Yeah, so it may be a supervisory position, but I still feel like there's somehow some kind of direct patient care. So, but it feels minimal. So again, like the way they made me feel like is like stepping in briefly. So it may be that again, you do like an intake thing. So you're supervising all of the people, but you're kind of, when the first client first comes in, part of their supervisory thing is to fit that client with the best person for them. Oh, okay. So I don't know that. So yeah, then that's what it feels like, because it feels like I'm in charge, but I have a little bit of patient care. It's not quite no patient care. All right. And Tracy, you want to know about your friend Logan. Did Logan have blonde hair? Dirty blonde? And there's like, I don't know if I feel like there's something weird with my left eye. So I don't know if there was some kind of impact here or if I had an issue with my left eye. He had blonde hair. And I also feel like kind of it's this interesting speech pattern because it feels like it doesn't feel like a forced speech, but it's like there's something kind of rapid about it, but sort of stuttery at the same time. Would he have maybe been considered like on the spectrum? Because there's something interesting about his personality. You're not sure about the impact. There's something where was his death sudden, like a car crash or something like that? Because it just feels like out of nowhere hit. Like, I don't feel like I had cancer or like some long thing. It feels very sudden, and I don't know why, but I just felt something very significant about right here. It does feel like there was some gunshot. Okay, so you don't know if it was right here. My sense is it's on this side. Whatever it is, it's on this side here. So this is my, just in case we're clear on this, my left side. It may get validated for you, it may not, but this is a sudden impact. I feel like there's some mental health issues. I don't know if it's like I don't understand it. So it's just like there's a lot going on and a lot of not really great coping mechanisms. And what he did, and it's like more about telling about his person. I feel like I'm talking really fast, but I feel like I may stutter a little bit. I may kind of go over it again. I may kind of go over it again like that. Like it's this really interesting speech pattern. And I feel like rapid thoughts, rapid. So like I may pace and talk. I may move and talk, and it helps me get out what I'm trying to say. And I may have used some substances in order to kind of cope with some of the things that I was dealing with, as a sort of way to kind of calm me down. So what he said to me was very clearly, he said, I wasn't meant for the earth this time around that long. So I almost feel like he kind of knew he wouldn't live to be an old person. Like he had this sense looming over him. And I also feel like he had this like, I don't know what it is. Like, did he have an obsession with aliens or something like that? Because I just feel like I'm also very connected to like kind of abstract thoughts. I believe that there's other, beings out there. It seems absurd that there wouldn't be with such a huge, vast amount of space that we don't know anything about. And I don't think we're the smartest ones out there. And I think the events of 2020 would explain that perfectly if you didn't know that. Everything's resonating. Okay. So it just feels like he sort of knew that he wouldn't be here long. And it wasn't about wanting, like, you were an important connection while he was here. Like that was part of hitting his stuff that you guys contracted to do. I wouldn't say that you're soulmates, but you're definitely in a soul family. So and when you're in a soul family together, there are many lifetimes that you will spend together. So I believe in the multiverse theory, which means that everything happens at once. There is multiple universes very similar to this, and then changing, like different timelines and everything else. Like there's infinite universes, or planes of existence, experiences, whatever. They've all happened. They're all happening at once. So you have your consciousness splits across the line. So this part of your consciousness is aware of this timeline. There's other parts of your consciousness that are aware of other parts of your timeline. If you want to think in the linear version, yes, you've had other lifetimes together. But that part of your consciousness and his are very interconnected. And so you are familiar. And there are other lifetimes that you spent together. So this one and other ones as well. So because I believe they all happen at once, it's you're already spending another lifetime with them. Did he smoke? I don't know if this is a cigarette or weed, because he just had something. He's like, yes. So I think it's probably weed. He's like, yes. He feels very lean to me. I don't know that he dressed this way or he looked this way, but to me, he looks like Tony Hawk in the 80s. I don't know if you know who Tony Hawk is. That's probably dating myself. Do you know who Tony Hawk is? Does anyone know who Tony Hawk is? This is like, I went in to buy something from a furniture store, pick something up. Okay, you get that. I mentioned Tang. I don't know if anybody knows what Tang is. And it was like a whole bunch of like younger, they were probably like in their 20s, and they were like, what? I'm like, oh my God. That was like, my grandmother would buy Tang for us when we'd go visit her. And it was like, my mom didn't buy any of that stuff because we were poor. So my mom only bought like, fresh foods, things we had to like actually cook and make things for ourselves. He's a skateboarder. He was like a professional skater, and he still skates. Probably, I don't know, he's probably in his 50s now. He was in this movie, Gleaming the Cube. It's another dating myself. Yeah, so, but like, whatever. I liked skaters when I was little, so go figure. Oh, Allie, yeah. You are in another universe right now. We all are. Right. All right, Miss Tracy, I hope that satisfies your question. Nicole, Allie, you guys are up. Starry Sky. I wrote your actual name here. I need to change that. For my notes, not you. I sent it to KK, right? Of course you can be added. You're welcome, Tracy. I also, my very first crush was on Kenny Rogers, if you believe that. I was like 6, and I saw that movie Six Pack. And yeah, he had gray hair, gray beard, whatever. That was my first crush. All right, Allie, you're up. Okay. Do you see someone coming towards me in love? Yes, but not for a while. So I feel like really sort of focusing on yourself for the next, like, it feels like in like 6 to 8 months, I feel somebody coming in as a more of a romantic connection. But I feel like over that time, you're really sort of working on your self-concept, right? How you feel about yourself, how you view yourself. Have you been working on manifesting and stuff too? I know I talk about it a lot, so I'm hoping it's like plugging into you guys that this stuff works and you should be trying it out. Please like and subscribe. I don't care if you're getting a question, just help a girl out. Some clue about them. They're focusing on like, focus on yourself right now. and finding like feeling whole and complete on your own. And then like literally it's like as soon as you get that, it's like they step in the door. Um, he might be just a little bit younger than you. But actually feels like he's sort of into all this spiritual stuff. So it's not like a lot of us, like when I met my husband, he is like, I think he sort of gets what I do now, but this is not his bag of tea. Um, he's not a spiritual guy. All right, Alyssa. Okay, hold on. So it feels like over that next 6 months, like first of all, when you understand manifesting and you understand that it's not, you don't have to do anything, right? It's this idea that like there's no more people work really hard to try and make things work. And it's not about working really hard. It's just going, the universe will bring me whatever I want. The universe always brings me whatever I want. Our fridge broke last week. I think I noticed it on Monday because I was like I thought, like my husband thought that we have two we have one in the basement and one upstairs, and our one in the basement, he thought that, and this is where we store a lot of our like extra meat. Like we'll buy it on sale and then store it and then use it. And he's like, I think I left the freezer open and everything is thawed in it. So we had to throw out like a ton of meat. And like his sister had sent him stuff for like nice meat for, I know, meat for my husband. So anyway, for his birthday, and like I had to throw out all this stuff, and I feel terrible because I think I manifested because I thought like there's a lot of shit in there we haven't used in a long time, and I really wish my husband would just get rid of it. And I can't wait. Like I kind of like put that into motion, but I wasn't specific enough. So yeah, be careful what you manifest. It's not hard. You just have to kind of throw it out there. So we're getting a new fridge tomorrow for down here. It was a lot. It was like it was not cheap. It was an expensive manifestation screw up. So the other thing, I sort of like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so it's not hard. You just have to know that it happens. Whatever you subconsciously sort of plant in there, your belief systems, they happen. So if you believe the universe is doing all of these things, but like if it's also like if you don't feel good about yourself, the only people like the way you treat yourself is the way other people are going to treat you. So if you feel like I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not this, and this, and I'm just using this for an example, universe. If you feel that way, then that's sort of, you're going to pull somebody in who doesn't value you either. So really work on yourself and spend that time, because when you ask things, sometimes I feel like that insecurity behind things, especially when people are asking about love, it's like heal that stuff so that you bring somebody in who's helpful. Yes, being active and educating yourself. So that's the trying part. And be open to like doing little things here and there. And if you think about it this way too, so if you're like, what if I want the same thing that everybody else wants? First of all, not everybody wants to be a psychic medium. Not everybody wants to be successful at this because they aren't ready to be out there and whatever. Not everybody wants to live in this kind of house or that kind of house. Like, so understand that not everybody's trying to manifest the same things you are. So drop that out of like feeling like, what if I'm asking too much or everybody else is asking for the same thing? Drop that out the window, because everybody doesn't want the same thing. In fact, I saw somebody who was manifesting, they wanted a partner who was financially stable, but didn't come from a lot of money. And I thought that was interesting, but they have some belief system that says like, that's not a great idea, or that's not a good mix. I don't care. come for money, don't come for money. Like that was never something I thought that's interesting. So I sort of like reading other people's stories about what they want, because I think it's interesting to see how different we are, and we all are sort of manifesting. So don't worry about if any that should pull you back from having any limiting beliefs about what you can manifest, right? And then if you feel like when you're sort of putting it out there, you'll feel a catch kind of in your stomach if it's not going to go. And it's sort of like, all right, or the energy around it feels different. It doesn't feel like it's easy. It doesn't feel like it's with joy. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like, it doesn't flow out easily. You'll be like, oh, there's a catch there. It doesn't feel quite right. I wonder what that's about. Look for that and clean it up. Those little belief systems that are limiting you. Some people have ideas around success. Like, if I'm really successful, then more people are going to want for me, or my family's going to want this or that. I don't know. I used to have an idea, or some people have built the belief system that if everybody who wins the big lottery, that's terrible for them. Well, if you believe that, then like you win the big lottery, that's going to happen. So, we all have interesting ideas around different things, and there is no limit. The universe can provide for everybody, especially if you believe that, like, if I'm manifesting, it's not really me bringing it in. I'm sort of like making these tiny hops with my consciousness to different experiences, right? You feel like you can't make things happen like the same old shit. Well, then you can't. If you think that you can't, then you can't. So start small, see something small happen, and read everybody's stories about manifesting. Find as many, like Google manifesting success stories. Like, just start looking for them. Go into groups, go into manifesting groups, and look for the success stories, because as you start to see things like that work for other people, what's his name? Trying to think of his name. Jim Carrey is a huge, like, he talks about it. It's like, he's like, you can have anything you want. And he talks about, he has those stories from like being on Oprah, where he's like, I would go up on the hill. He's like, I had nothing at all. I was totally broke. And I would just visualize, and I would see it as if I already had it. And I would drive home and I wouldn't think, well, I don't have that now. He's like, oh, I have it. It's just out there for me. It's out there for me already, just waiting for me. But I have it. It's already there. So he didn't ever sit there and think like, it's not mine, I don't have it. But the really important part of manifesting, and I think is that really sort of catapults you and gets you into into a better position, is when you liking yourself, enjoying who you are as a person, and the way your mind works and the way you think. Love your body. It's not perfect, but it's gotten you to this point, right? Nobody's body is perfect. Just, it's gotten you to this point. Anybody who says they have a perfect body, or whatever, on a magazine cover, you're like, oh my God, look at them. If I could look like them. Well, it's like photoshopped. The lighting is just right. I mean, the lighting makes a huge difference in photography. So just keep that in mind. You have to reprogram yourself, because here's the other thing. If you get that thing and you haven't reprogrammed yourself, you're going to end up pushing it away. So if you get that love, right, and you're not fully, you get that perfect partner that you've been dreaming of, and you're not fully healed on the inside, all of that stuff is going to creep back in. Those self-doubts, oh, they're going to fall out of love with me, or every man leaves. See, everyone leaves. Everything falls apart for me. And then you push that away. So heal the stuff inside of you first. So then when that thing that you really want and you really think is going to like be the thing and the end all be all in life, when they come, you don't pull those old belief systems and screw it up. Just my 2 cents. Miss Nicole, are you here? Starry Sky and Regine, you guys are up. And I felt like 6 to 8 months for love to come in. And no, the only thing I felt like is like he's younger, a little, just maybe a little bit, not a ton. Oh, wait. And you're very welcome. I'm just checking PayPal, and then we'll probably close the list because I feel like I'm just jabbering on a lot. Okie dokie, we got some more people here. Yeah, we'll close the list then after. Hang on. Yikes. Okay. See what my jabbering does. So everybody, please like and subscribe. You can go over to my website. If you subscribe to my website, every month I do a drawing for a free 30-minute reading. And I will do that drawing probably for next week. I'll announce it for this month. All right, let's see. Caramel Apple is back. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay, so Tiffany, KK, Sherry. Hello, Sherry. We haven't seen you in a while. Alyssa, got you. Caramel Apple or Caramel Apple. Caramel or Caramel. There's C-A-R-A. Lauren Jane gets 2, I believe. Yep. Tara and Emily F. And then we have to close it out. So Emily F is my last one, and she's got 2. She's my last one. I'm good, Regine. How are you? What do I see you doing this year? All right. Nicole, are you here? No, I feel like he might be like a couple years younger than you, like in his 20s. So not like a baby, but he might be like 28. He looks young for his age is the feeling I get too. You'll be fine with it, I promise. You're good, KK. All right, so Regine, Starry Sky, are you here? And Nicole, let me turn this back up. I'm getting cold. All right, so, okay, so Regine will give you, wait, what do I see you doing this year? You mean career-wise, right? Right? Correct? You're welcome, Allie. So little blib. My name is actually Anna. Lisa's my middle name. But I don't like Anna plain. I don't know why. You're on the list, Alyssa. I have you. You're a little further down, okay? Regine, did you mean for career or yes? Okay. I heard very clearly movement towards the middle of June. They said, keep your eye on the ball, keep your nose to the grindstone. You're on the right path. And then in August, so movement in June and August, they said explosion in August, but not like a bad explosion, but just like feeling like everything sort of goes in August. I don't feel like it's moving, physically movement, but it feels like financial movement, or maybe changing jobs, but I don't feel like moving houses or anything like that. Are you an entrepreneur? Alyssa, you're after Sherry. Hang on one. You have about 10 people ahead of you. Maybe not 10 full people. It's just like a couple of people have a couple questions. So it just depends on how they ask them, how quickly. Please like and subscribe. You're in healthcare administration. So is it possible, because it felt financial for me, like movement. So is it possible the middle of June, we start talking about getting a raise, and then it hits in August where I actually start receiving that money? Or is it possible for you to move, even though you're in administration, to go higher from where you're at. Because whatever it is, it's movement in June. It does, and again, it doesn't feel like I'm moving homes because you're asking specifically about career, and I don't feel like I'm moving jobs. It just feels like moving forward, doing better. And maybe that's what keeping your nose to the grindstone is, where you're just like, you keep moving forward. You're not getting caught up in all of the, because we both know how political hospitals can be, hospital healthcare can be. Okay. So it feels like it might be something like that. Where you're sort of given, like we start interviewing to have that position. And then in August, that's where it's like the big, like, and it feels like fireworks explosion, not like shit hitting the fan explosion. Pardon my French, or pardon my English. Why did the French get blamed for all the swear words? The first foreign swear words I learned were Spanish anyway. Sounds good to me too, Regine. It's a good year. Do you have another question? You're French. You get blamed for all of them. Nicole, are you here? I wonder if she forgot. How can you help your sister? You guys are like polar opposites. Like I feel light energy around you, and I feel very dark depression. Kind of can't get my life together around her. Does that resonate? Yeah. So I'm sorry to say this, but the feeling I get is it's not your job to help her, and you can't help her. That this is like something she has to pull herself out of. So there may be some mental health stuff like that she's self-medicating for. But there's like, this isn't for you to fix. Not for you to fix. Like you could bleed yourself dry financially trying to get her the help that she wants, because she may say, oh, well, if I just could pay my bills easier, everything would be fine. And then you do that and it doesn't matter because she's still a mess. So send her love energetically. Yeah. Send her love energetically. Encourage her to get her own healing. Remind her that you love her, but you'll drown trying to save her if you don't recognize that, like, that's her stuff and she has to deal with it. And I don't want to say like it's a choice, but there comes to a point where it sort of is a choice, right? So it sort of is like you both grew up in the same home with its own difficulties. You were more resilient. She chose to cope or not cope. And it sent her on this other path. But like now you're adults, and it's like she's still blaming all of this stuff, even if it's subconsciously, and you're sort of like took it and go, well, yeah, that sucked, but I'm not going to I'm going to make a better life for myself. Will she get better? I feel like she'll make strides, but I feel like it's going to be years down the line. So 5-6 years down the line. And it's like a light bulb will go on for her, and she'll sort of see that like it doesn't have to be that bad. So I have family members like this. I'm not naming any names or anything. And some people unfortunately deal with trauma differently than others. So she just For the one person I'm thinking in particular in my family, it's like she has a better chance than this person in my family. So she actually has a chance of having kind of like seeing the light and getting better. Okay. But it's like, it takes a while for her to see it. You're welcome. And I'm very sorry because it's not, it's hard when someone you love is like that. Starry's Guide is my beloved cat. Ayla, is that how you say it? Ayla ever come to visit me? It's my mother Marjorie ever come to visit me? Manifesting really works. It does. It does. And also, if you go to Spiritually Out of the Closet, Spiritually OTC, Dan, who's always like super supporting and cheering me on, that's his channel. And it's pretty cool. He's got some cool experiences on there, so you should check it out. I actually feel like Ayla's around you all the time. All the time. I almost feel like you can feel her. Like, I feel like her paws. Like, we had a cat when I was little who had like these teeny, teeny, tiny paws, and she was like really fat and had this big pendulous belly, like, and like a tiny little head. She was so funny looking. She was a calico, but like, I feel like you can feel her paws sometimes on your legs. She's around you. I actually feel like she's like kind of always hanging around. And I feel like she kind of keeps, do you have other cats right now? Because I feel like she's keeping things in line. Excuse me. And your mom. Did your mom have a hearing issue with her left ear? It's either that or like jaw. I don't know, but it's like right here. I need to scroll back down so I can see what you're writing. You have a dog. Okay. Yeah, your mom had a hearing issue. Okay. Like, then that's her making her way in here. She's kind of sarcastic, like kind of has like a biting sense of humor because she's like, not like don't flatter yourself, but like she has these like little jabs that she makes, but like she loves you, but it's like I have better things to do. I'm around you, but like I'm not all the time. I have other things I can do. Like I don't know, there's just like this funny, like not mean. She really does mean it as a joke because she loves being around you, but I think she's like don't get too full of yourself. um Oh, this is interesting. Do you randomly get like a nose tickle or something? Because she said I tickle her nose or I do something to her nose. Sorry, guys. She keeps doing it to mine. Does the sense of humor make sense? And does the nose tickle make sense? Yes. Okay. So that answers those questions. They are around you. That's how she makes herself known to you, by the way. Like, so some people go, oh, whenever I see a butterfly, I don't know. I always think it's like funny. It's like when certain psychics or mediums, they tell everybody like, this means this means that. Like, I'm always like, no, it's what you make it. But that's her symbol for you for whatever is the nose tickle. Devry, Isha, Ellen, you guys are up. Devry has 2. Nicole Rodriguez, are you here? I'll refund your money if you don't make it. Oh, okay. You're having issues with your sleep. Immediately what I got is actually feeling like I do feel like there is some hormonal part to that. Um, like it might actually be more like kind of around your cycles. So having a little bit more issue around the time that you're ovulating and around like, and also PMS. So there's like 2 times of the months where you have like, if you just watch it in cycles, you'll kind of see that. That's sort of what I'm feeling. But um, that I would say talk to your doctor about, because I don't really, I mean, sometimes I have trouble sleeping around stuff with my cycle, and I just kind of like, that's what time of the month it is. But the other part is I actually feel like you're getting messages from your guides. Like, does it feel like you can't slow your brain down and you're just getting picture after picture after picture and it's like hard for you to get to sleep? So that's actually you connecting in with your third eye. And I think we talked about that starting to open up. So what the best thing for you to do with that is tell your guides like, okay, now I know what that is. I know what you're trying to do. So can we set up a time and do a meditation and connect with them and have them give you the stuff that they're getting, and just write down everything you're getting. It might not make any sense, but just write it down. Because you'll start to build like a dictionary. But my feeling is that so once I realized that was my guides kind of coming into me, because I used to like not be able to shut it down, it stopped because I was like, oh, now you can meet me at a different time. We don't have to do this when the world is quiet and I'm trying to relax, because I need to sleep. I need my human body, this avatar here needs rest. So ask them to like either get it to you while you're sleeping or hit you up when you're doing a meditation or something, because it will help you sort of like start to shut your brain down. Or, all right, I'm going to give you 15 minutes to write everything you jot down and say, now it's time for me to sleep, and set the boundaries for them. You can do a couple different things for that, but that's what I feel like it is. I feel like there's the 2 things to that. All right, Isha, what does Arian feel toward me? Is it Arian or Arian? Arian. You guys flirt? Because they said to me, they're flirting, but he doesn't really think of her that way. Like, I feel like he kind of has a flirty personality, but maybe he doesn't think of it as flirting. There's some people that like, but do you work? Because it's like, we either go to school together or work together. Like, I feel like we're in this, like, we're kind of around each other. There's flirting, but like, it doesn't go past that. I haven't gone on a date. I feel like he has kind of a flirty personality. So maybe he doesn't even realize he's doing that. You've gone on dates? I don't know. Does he think they're dates, or does he think you're just friends hanging out? You met on Tinder? Okay, so then he doesn't think you're just friends hanging out. Sorry. So everything that they're giving me inside my head feels like my guy friends that I've known my whole life that were just flirty personalities, but there was nothing there. Like, the feeling I get is, I'm not looking at the screen because I don't want to know what you said yet, but the feeling I get is like these guys would just serial date. Like, it was just like, and they would tell me about all these women and like, oh, she's nice, but, and they'd pick this like super arbitrary thing. This one guy was like, her eyebrows. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Her eyebrows? Uh, like they just had growing up to do, right? So it doesn't feel like, it's not that he doesn't think you're attractive or whatever. It just I don't know why. It just doesn't feel super serious. Like she's the one. And I'm telling you, you'll know when you know. See how it goes. You're not exclusive yet, I'm guessing, because I do feel like he's maybe dating other people. I think that's a huge point of why they're showing me these guys that I've known forever. Because they would just, I don't know. I'm not, I one time was sort of seeing two guys and I got drunk and called the one guy the wrong name. So I never really dated more than one person at a time because that's just me. He deleted Tinder. Okay. Is he on other dating? I don't know. I don't know why. But so just enjoy it, whatever. I feel like he's a little bit like has some growing up to do. So I'll leave it at that. Trust your own instincts though, right? I don't know if this is the one, but it's definitely fun. So enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with just enjoying it and not worrying about where it's going to go. There's nothing wrong with just having fun with somebody and not necessarily needing to be like, is he the one? Are we going to get married? Like, just be like, it's nice. Let's see where it goes, and watch for red flags and pay attention to red flags if they come up and don't ignore them. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay. Devry, did you have another question? Ellen, you're up. Tiffany, you're up. Oh, your second question. Here we go. Will my sisters Nina and Lacey ever get their lives together? I'm going to do Nina first and then Lacey. So Nina, I heard yes, she will, and hers is about 3 years time. So it just feels like having kind of a selfish, immature kind of feeling and like not really able to balance things, and then it'll happen for her. Kind of hits a growing up point. Now it's like Lacey. I feel like Lacey will too, and I feel like it'll be sooner than Nina, and it feels like she's sort of on the road there now. Can you validate that? Yes, Ellen, you're up. Just go ahead and type your question. Sherry, go ahead and type your question too, since you said you have a hard time staying awake. Yes, she is. Okay. So it feels like it happens sooner for her than Nina. So it's going to happen. It just takes time. And perhaps what it is once Nina sees you and Lacey kind of getting it together, she starts to feel like, oh, maybe I need to grow up too. Are you the youngest though? My hair's looking sleepy today. I look like I just woke up and rolled out of bed. I didn't, y'all. This is just my day. It's you, then Nina, then oh, so you're the oldest. It's funny because the reason why I asked that is because I'm one of 3 girls. I'm the youngest of 3 girls, and I'm like have my stuff together, and everybody's always asking if I'm the oldest. So that's why I asked, like, is it because that's how it felt to me, like that's why. All right, Alan. What does Spirit see coming up for me in the next couple of months? Do you want to know romantic, career, personal, relationships that aren't romantic? Keep Nicole on that list because she still hasn't, I don't know if she forgot. I'll just send her money back. Whatever comes up. Okay. Okay, so Ellen. Okay, so you need to focus on nutrition. And I I feel like you're not drinking enough water. But what's interesting is I feel like, are you working on opening up psychically? Because what they told me is she needs to pay attention more, because we've been trying to connect with her and she's just not quite hearing us or getting it. And do you have something with your left leg? Because I'm like doing this weird rubbing thing that I do when something's going on. You're not getting it if they're trying to connect. Yeah, that's what they just said. So are you clarifying that? So are you working on opening up your intuition? Like, do you do meditations, or are you setting intentions? Not left leg, left shoulder issue. No, this feels like pay attention to your left leg, because there's something here. Yes, you're trying to open up. Okay. So what they're saying is that when you're going, it's not working, they're going, it is, you're just not, like, you're waiting for this big explosion to happen and like somebody to walk through the door, and they're sort of going, it's really way more subtle than that. So just relax. If you think a thought or get a picture or get a smell, just honor it, right? So I feel like you're clairaudient. So as you've fallen asleep at night, have you ever heard your name called or heard hello or something, some kind of little, but where you are sort of in that in between state of being fully asleep and fully awake? Sit up straight. I'm hunching over. Wonder why my back. Okay. So clairaudient, but I'm right about that. Okay. So with clairaudience, you're not necessarily going to hear a voice outside of your head like you did when you were falling asleep 12 years ago. You're not going to necessarily hear a different voice inside your head. Sometimes it's just like your own voice. So just pay attention. If you ask a question and you get a thought through your head that seems like an answer, it's not really yours. Everything is like so much more subtle than people are expecting it to be, because they don't want to throw us into a tizzy and then be like, no more of this. I'm done. Like, I've had enough. The first time, besides hearing my name called or little things here and there, that I really heard a voice outside of my head was a loud, booming, can't miss it man's voice outside of my head while I was in my car by myself. So there's no way I could have mistaken it for something else. It was because I was ignoring all of the subtle things where the universe was like, you're supposed to go to nursing school. This is where you're supposed to go. Like, you should be doing this. So I literally heard a voice outside of my head say, you're going to nursing school. You're going to this school. You're doing it now. Like, it was very, and I wasn't scared. I was just like, okay, I guess my life is changing now, because I was doing healthcare administration at that point. So point being, if you're not listening, like when you get the big stuff, it's because the universe is kicking you in the ass and telling you, like, wake the fuck up. You're not listening to me. Pardon my French, but that's like what they're doing. Like, wake up. So you're just missing all the subtle things. So if you think it might be something, write it down. I want you to also think about all of the times where you've connected in, or where you've either listened or not listened to your intuition, and write it down. So even if you ignored it and something happened, like, just think about it now and honor it, and start recognizing how that feels when you did it. Okay. Because that's like important to your opening up process. It really is all the subtle stuff. It really isn't the really, really big stuff. The reason why I've gotten better at what I do and why I think personally that my private readings have gotten a lot better is because I'm stretching myself here to learn to listen to the really, really subtle stuff and just be like, fuck it, I don't know. Like, this is what I'm getting. And so when I say, like, sometimes I don't get it right, sometimes I don't get it right because I've either missed the subtle stuff or whatever. It's not always the big stuff with the psychic stuff. It's mostly not the big stuff. Yes, ask your question, Nicole. Otherwise, I was going to refund your money. You've been getting stuff, Ellen, I promise you. So even if you feel like, only my name called, that's huge. Think about how much energy and work it takes for them to shift their vibration and make a sound be heard outside of your head. That's why it's the subtle stuff is more important. And that's why there's more of that, because it's not as much work. So you have to be willing to listen to it. So I promise you, in between that 12 years and today, there has been a lot of other stuff you've just missed. Tiffany's pregnant. I told you it would be quick. Yay! Congratulations. You to term. So maybe 36, 37 weeks, but you'll make it to term for sure. I don't know what they're trying to tell you. Sometimes it's just the subtle little things. I mean, from here and now in 12 years, like they're talking to you. So just be open to listening and open to all the little experiences. Okay. All right. So I'm super excited for you, Tiffany. This is like such wonderful news. I'm so excited. We will all send you lovely, lovely healing energy for a safe and smooth and easy pregnancy. I think you're going to have some nausea, though. Sorry. Sour candies and sour, like, sucky candies always helped with mine. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but I feel like if they're saying that versus like, go to get this job, I know it's not exciting, but if they're saying that, there's a reason, because they want you to start connecting in with your intuition and connecting with them directly and paying attention to them, because there's some part of that that's important for your journey. Okay. There's some part of that will help you along on your journey, that will help you that will help you make decisions or whatever it is, but there's something important for you. That's why they're bringing that up specifically. It's not always clear why they decide to choose certain things, or why certain people decide to come through and others don't. When people are like, oh, I really wanted, I was hoping this person would, but this like random like person that I only, died when I was 5 years old decided to come through. Tiffany, I'm to you. And then I'm going to answer. So you're up, Tiffany, KK, Sherry, you guys are up. And then let me answer. Let's see. Sherry's got hers, and then I'll answer Nicole's. Next 6 months. And if I have to focus, it's on financial. I need to turn this picture. There's a picture down here. Okay. They keep bringing me straight to June for you for financial. So it feels like it's interesting. Like, I feel like I'm moving through space really fast, like, and everything's just wide open in May, but I don't feel like it's just like through May, I feel like I'm just, they're not showing a lot. So it feels like catapulting through and bringing me right to June. And I feel like I've hit a bump in the road in June. But it feels small. It doesn't feel like, it feels like a little rock, a little bump. So there might be something comes up where you either have something you either have like a drop in your portfolio, or if you're invested, or a drop like where maybe there's a repair or something around the house that it feels like maybe, like, oh, I really wasn't expecting that. But it feels like a little something, and then I'm doing okay. Like then I'm okay after that. Um, so no, Sherry, do you understand that? I mean, I'll be to you soon, okay? Nicole, I'm supposed to talk to my boss tomorrow about more flexibility in my job, like working from home. I also wanted to ask to renegotiate my salary. I do feel like there will be a little bit more flexibility for working from home. I don't feel like the salary will get renegotiated. I feel like even if you do get a little bump, it's not going to be significant, but I just feel like it's sort of like they're going to kind of use the COVID, like everything's kind of tight right now. I don't feel like that'll happen, but I do feel like they'll give you maybe like, say you're working 5 days a week in the office, you'll get 1 or 2 at home. So it won't be full time at home, but it'll be partial. It's not because of your performance. I feel like it's because of COVID. I feel like they're going to say, it's that like not wanting to give more money if they don't have to. And I feel like they feel like budget constraints and stuff like that. So it's just like they don't really have the money to give you, but it's COVID's an easy out rather than saying we have budget constraints. It's not because of your performance at all. I sort of also think they're really stingy with raises there. So Tiffany, was that your question about if they'll be full term? And I'm saying they'll, so I think it might be twins. Oh, okay. I think that was it. Okay. All right. So KK wants a general for the next. You're welcome, Nicole. Good luck. Let us know. Keep us posted. General for the next few weeks. So Alyssa and Caramel Apple, if you want to go ahead and ask your questions, because you guys are up next. And Lauren, Jane, you're up too. All right, KK for the next couple of weeks. It's like more of the same. So I feel like actually work is kind of calming down for you a little bit. So you're going to actually spend some more time kind of focusing on your development, your intuition development. And it actually feels like getting some more clear messages while I'm doing a meditation, because I feel like I'm having more time to be able to do that and like sort of focus on that. And it just feels calm for the next couple of weeks. Like I feel nice and calm, and I feel like I just feel like no stress, no pressure. I feel like even energetically, like I don't even feel like I'm picking up all the junk from around the world. I just feel like I'm nice and calm and kind of in this little bubble. Are you talking to someone? Because I see like this little, I don't necessarily know if it's a date, but I feel like there's like this conversation going on, this little back and forth. And I feel like it's fun and it's entertaining and it's like sort of piquing my interest. I'm not sure really if it's going to go anywhere or how I feel about it, but so maybe somebody comes into play where there's a little conversation there. Alyssa says, I would like to know what you see happening for Jordan and I. When will he contact me? In what way will he do this, if so? So I'm going to ask this because I ask everybody because I believe in manifesting. So I'm always like, I just assume everybody does. So it feels like I'm going to put it as if I'm sitting in your shoes. So when I speak in first person, know that I'm really sort of speaking about you. I've been manifesting him back because things weren't going that great. And what's going to happen is I feel like he contacts me and it feels in the next couple of weeks, but it's not how I want. It's not exactly the way I feel. And they're sort of saying, just trust that this is part of the bridge of incidents. This is part of the path to it happening. So don't react. Does that make sense when I say it that way? Have you been working on manifesting him? Oh. Oh, you didn't let Evan down at all. I actually feel like he called him home. Like they're definitely together, Lauren. I feel like he called him home. It's definitely not your fault. And you didn't let him down at all. Like I literally feel like he called him home. You're welcome, sweetheart. Some of these burdens we place upon ourselves are just so unfair. Try not to do that. Well, I understand you feel like he won't, Alyssa. Do you manifest? Wait, what's crazy? She never says your comment. Wait, what? Oh, wait. You feel like you're speaking to someone spiritual. You are, but there's also like you are meeting with one of your guides, but there's someone actual, like real, that I feel like it feels like texting or emailing back and forth where it's just sort of kind of fun. Lauren Jane, did you have another question? Because you had two. And Alyssa, I feel like he will. I just, again, it's not going to feel like the way you want it to be. Like it's going to feel like a letdown. Just don't react. You're welcome, Tiffany. Congratulations again. I'm very excited for you. Wait, I'm confused. I'm just reading. What's with the, I never saw KK's comment. I'm confused. That's so, Alyssa, my feeling is that he will. It won't feel like the way you want it to, right? So if you're manifesting it, so just manifest that the universe brings you back together. Don't even worry about the details. Just the universe is, if you say it's not going to happen, then it's not going to happen. Oh, I don't know. I'm confused. You're welcome, KK. Alyssa, so it's just sort of like the feeling that was the feeling I get is like I'm manifesting, I want it back. He responds to me in a couple weeks. It's not the way I want, and so I'm disappointed. I don't feel good about it. And they're sort of saying, just relax because it's all going to happen and fall into place. I don't know that you'll end up back together again, but I feel like maybe the next time then it's like a better conversation. Is your business going to bring more money in April? I feel like by April, you'll start to make some more money. And I do feel like you're going to have to do something else on the side, like a little, maybe just like a part-time thing, just for a little while. And then the other one sort of kind of picks up and works for itself. And so you're making more money and you won't need to do that. So it maybe feels like for a year, I'm having to do just a side something just to bring in a little bit extra. All right, caramel apple, just a general reading. And then I've got Alyssa, I don't know if it's love, to be honest with you. They said to me in his own way, but it doesn't feel like head over heels. It doesn't necessarily feel like the most healthy relationship. I feel like there's some codependency kind of issues, but it's not for me to judge and say, like, you shouldn't want him. You're asking the question, I'm giving it to you as it is. So that's why it just feels like it doesn't feel like this, like, love. Like, if he was like that, he would be with you, right? So it just feels like in his way, yes, he still does, but I feel like he's also kind of selfish, some not really great ways that he communicates. You're welcome, Lauren Jane. Okay, now let me do caramel apples reading because she's been waiting. I feel like I'm standing in the middle of, like, this is a very interesting way that I'm seeing this because I'm like, does anyone want to give me a general reading for caramel apple? And I feel like I'm standing in a room yelling, like, why is nobody listening to me here? There's a whole group of y'all, and not one of you wants to talk about anything. And I feel like now, as if like I'm talking about it, this is sort of a metaphor for what's going on with you. It feels like I could be yelling in the room of a room full of people, and no one would hear me and no one would see me. Do you feel often that, like, people, you're just not heard, your needs aren't met? Like, you could be begging somebody for help and, like, it feels like nobody's hearing you? Also, there was, like, weird, I kept seeing the outlines of dolphins. Do you have some strange connection with dolphins? And, like, either pink or red, but it's like sometimes the colors aren't perfect, but it was like this pink lighting behind it. Not that you know of with dolphins. Look up dolphins as a spirit animal medicine and see how they resonate. There's something with that. But do you feel like oftentimes you're, like, standing in the middle of a room screaming and no one's hearing you? I just want to look up this dolphin thing. See if I can tell you what it means. First of all, dolphins are very telepathic. Yes. Okay. So that makes sense. So what's the dolphin symbolism? So they're saying dolphins mean to take time out to play. Alternatively, it's prompting you to balance and harmonize your environment. Find ways that you can help the young. I don't know, whatever. That doesn't fit. That's how I do this. I go, no, that doesn't feel right. Harmony and balance, finding harmony and balance. So maybe they're bringing in harmony and balance to your life, that things have been out of whack and out of balance. And that feeling of like, feeling like my needs aren't met because like everybody doesn't hear me around. Yes. Yes, Allie, that is. There you go. That's the energy moving through you too. So, they're sort of talking about too, do some self, like, so you've always taught yourself that people don't really listen to me. Nobody ever hears me speak. It seems like, you say all these things over in your head and they're sort of like, reprogram that. It's not helping you. It's keeping you from feeling like your needs are being met and that you're having balance. It also feels like I say no and nobody, like people just don't respect my boundaries. And so it's like, I respect my boundaries because the truth is you're the only person who ever has to respect your boundaries. Because if somebody else doesn't, they just pound sand, right? It's time to go. See you later. I just don't really need this in my life anymore. And even if other people go, oh, that's stupid, that boundary is like, whatever. Like I always use this example because it's so absurd, but it doesn't matter. The point is that regardless of what it is, and if somebody else agrees with it or doesn't agree with it, it's yours. You get to have a say that this is okay for me. So I always say, like, what if you have a rule that you're like, I don't want people wearing purple shoes in my house. I just don't. I don't know what it is. Like people cannot wear purple, and you don't have to justify why you have your boundary. I don't know why, but I just don't want people wearing purple shoes in my house. And somebody shows up and they've got purple shoes, and you just have to be like, no, I mean, like, I love you. It doesn't mean I don't like you or anything, but I just really, the purple shoes don't work in my house. And they're like, oh God, well, that neighbor over there says that I can wear purple shoes in your house. And you go, okay, well, you should go over to that neighbor then, because I really can't have you wear purple shoes in my house. So it can feel like everybody can tell you that boundary is absurd and these people are okay with me doing this. It doesn't matter. If it's your boundary, you hold it and you respect your boundary. They don't have to respect it. You have to respect it. So that's also the thing about like learning to talk to yourself nicer and be like, well, like set what the rules are for the universe and for other people. If you like yourself and you respect yourself, you sort of pull in the energy of people who respect you, because then you sort of don't have time for the people that don't respect you, right? So work on all of that self-talk and that inner dialogue. So you change everything around you. It's not that everything changes around you and then you change. It's the other way around. You have to be part of the solution. Okie dokie. Tara and Emily F., you guys are up. And then we're done. We've been here a while. I hope that was helpful. Tara and Emily F., you guys are up. Hopefully you're here. If you're not, I will refund your money. That's the way I roll. You're very welcome. Thanks for supporting me and coming back. Okay, EF, what's your questions? Hi. Anyone or anything at work you need to be careful of? Is there a guy that wears a hat with a D name? Like a Dan? Do your ears ring a lot, Emily? This is going to sound weird. So what I heard was the guy that wears the hat, and then I heard like Dan or a D name. So I don't know if they're totally connected or if they're two separate people. It's just super weird and super random and arbitrary. You've been getting ringing in your ear lately. So then pay attention to these, because like when I did this, I just heard ringing in my ear. So pay attention. They showed him on a hoverboard, which to me means like it's like he's trying to float by. It's like he's trying to get away with something or just skate by and not be noticed. So it may just be more about like you paying attention and noticing things around you. Like maybe some trying to make something look like an accident when maybe they should be taking responsibility for it. Why are you asking such a question about feeling concerned about? Yeah, that's a clairaudience thing. It's also kind of like people call them downloads, just pulling information, connecting in. Tara, if you're here. Oh, there you are. Your question's above. Could you just retype it so I don't have to scroll through everything? I would really appreciate it. So Emily, I'm worried the doctor I have started to work under might be difficult. I don't feel like it's him. So I feel like it's not difficult when you say that. I feel like it's kind of alpha male and kind of just like he forgets his manners. So he reminds me of surgeons when I would like every sort of specialty has their own quirky personality, and it's the truth. Like you'll be like, oh yeah, they're an anesthesiologist. Like it's rare to find like a super personable anesthesiologist. Like most of them are really like, I mean, they can be nice and friendly and stuff, but they just don't talk a lot. Like they just don't. Surgeons kind of have an arrogance about them. So it just feels like this is what I said. These are my orders. This is what I did. And again, there's always like the exception to the rule, but the surgeons have their like, and like, I don't know, there's this like arrogance about them. Right. So it doesn't feel like he's difficult. It's like, I gave you an order. Like it feels more military type thing. Like I gave you the orders. This is what you're supposed to do. Just do what I'm asking you to do and don't add any more frustration to my plate. I think that he doesn't like, I don't think he's going to call you names at work. Like never mind. I'm not going to say anything. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. It just feels like anticipate as much as you can what his needs. Do exactly like it feels like if you just follow what you're supposed to do, you'll be fine. But I don't feel like you need to worry about him being difficult. I just feel like he's just like one of those people, and you're like, okay, whatever. Like this is maybe I grew up in a really kind of a fucked up environment, and so like it takes a lot for somebody to really ruffle my feathers and be like, I can't handle this. That's probably also why like a lot of the nurses that I worked with when I worked at this one place were like, how can you stay here so long as a traveler? And I was like, I want to stay in New York. I don't care like how bad it is. Like I can tolerate pretty terrible situations. So I just feel like I don't necessarily think that's a good thing, but I'm just saying it doesn't feel like, I don't feel like he's going to be abusive or call you names or anything like that. I just feel like he's kind of like, this is what you're supposed to do. Just do what you're supposed to do and you're fine. And don't, I also feel like, and I used to say this as a nurse, like, I don't want anybody telling me I'm doing a great job. I don't really need a pat on the back. As long as my name isn't getting called into the manager's office, I'm great. I'm good. I know I'm doing a fine job. And it's sort of like that. Just don't expect a whole lot of like, you're such a great team player, because he's not like that. It's like not in his wheelhouse. Just know that if he's not calling you in to bitch at you, you're doing good. And he's happy with your service, with your job, what you're doing. I don't think it'll get more dramatic, especially if you're just doing what you're supposed to do. And again, it feels like I don't think you're in the line of fire for that one. I think other people maybe, but I also feel like you're just like, if you just have the attitude of like, I don't need a pat on the back, like as long as I feel like you'll get raises, you'll get what you need to get, but I feel like he's just very like, he's not like like some people are very gregarious and like they're the great employers and they're like, but he's not like that. And you're not going to get that with him. Okay, Tara, here's your question. For months now, I have been feeling that I need to connect with you for a general anything message from Spirit. I know there's a message and I believe you are the one who I was supposed to contact. Well, thank you, Tara. Okie dokie. Do you want like super, super general, or are you feeling more spiritual or more financial, career? Do you carry your stress and your anxiety here in your stomach? Because that's where I feel it for me. And I felt like real tight and like, you need to breathe. Spiritual in general. Yep. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm connecting with your energy. So, wow, my hips never popped just by moving that way before. Yikes. Um, so I'm sort of looking at the spiritual end of it because that's what they're focusing on. And I just feel like when they're showing me you energetically, I just feel like, I don't know if emaciated or just feeling like I'm undernourished. Like I haven't been focusing on enough of like a deep, true spiritual connection. Like I'm watching as many videos as I can. I'm trying all of the things. I'm going to all of these places and it just doesn't feel like I'm connecting. And I always feel like I'm sort of missing the mark. And there's almost this like fear, nervousness underlying kind of feeling. Does that resonate when I say that? Like I'm doing this because I'm afraid of something or I'm feeling so lost. Like it's like that desperation feeling rather than feeling fully connected in. Okay. I'm telling you what they're showing me. So I'm feeling undernourished, like I'm not doing enough. So if I'm like, I literally am seeing when someone is like really anorexic, I'm getting to what it is. So even if you feel like it's not resonating, I've had enough people come back and go, oh, that's what that means. So I tend to, when I give readings, go, I know what I'm getting. So I'm gonna keep hammering it because that's what I do. I know what I'm getting. So I'm gonna keep hammering it and explain to you exactly what I'm seeing. And the feeling I get around it doesn't feel like actual. So unless you happen to be extremely anorexic, cachectic means like what when cancer patients start to lose all their weight, like flesh and bone, no muscle tone, no fat layers. Unless you actually have that, That's the way they're showing me to you. And to me, that is somebody who is undernourished, who isn't getting exactly what they need, who isn't connecting into what they are. So as much as you say you're connected, right. So this is not literal then. So to me, symbolically, as much as you say I'm connected in or whatever, there's something you're not getting that's not truly fulfilling you on a spiritual level. Like whatever you're connecting with spiritually is more surface than anything. The belief systems you're watching from other people. Because I know I'm not the only person you watch. It may seem weird. I know I'm not the only person you watch, correct? It's not weird. They always have a way of getting me to say what I need to say. No, I'm not done with your message. Am I the person you watch? I'm guessing no. Because to me, the way they're showing is like I'm watching several different people. Derek is your teacher. Okay. Do you also watch other people's videos? I don't know. I know like Georgia is big into Derek. I don't know any of his teachings. I tend to, this is the way so maybe this is why I'm not nourished enough. This sort of makes sense. If I only follow one person, right? If I only eat one food, I'm not getting everything that I need to get spiritually. So if I'm only following one person, I'm not getting what I need spiritually. So for me, and this is it right here. Okay. So if you're following all these other people, right? It's like you're looking for somebody else to tell you what it is, then to go, hi from Canada. Thank you. If you're looking to all these different people and you're sort of going, oh, well, they say that, so that's what it is. And they say that, you're not looking within of going, does that really resonate with me? You can cherry pick. And I recommend cherry picking. Anybody who ever says, don't cherry pick, you fucking cherry pick. And here's why, because people have their own filter, like with the Bible, right? When the Bible, before the Gutenberg printing press came along, the Bible was transcribed by people, not just priests that could read, by artists who could draw pretty letters. And they would just add in the notes from the priest, and they wouldn't necessarily know exactly what it meant. And then the 14th century rolled around, and Constantine came into play, and changing of the church and wanting power and all this other stuff, and stuff got pulled out of the Bible. You've got the Dead Sea Scrolls. I think maybe it was the 4th century. But point being, things have changed. And so when people go, you have to do it like the Bible, I'm like, yeah, but do you know how the Bible was written? Do you know how things were transcribed? And do you know how translations got changed? Because a long time ago, virgin did not mean without sex. Virgin meant not married. It changes the whole idea of Christ, doesn't it? So my point being, cherry pick. Don't just go, oh, well, Derek says this. I don't know Derek at all, so I'm sure he's a fine man and he teaches a lot of lovely things. So I'm not picking on Derek. I'm just saying. So Derek says this and this person says this, and like they're both saying this, so it must be right. Well, you know what? A lot of people say that like souls don't get expunged and things don't, like everything has its way, and they do this whole airy fairy thing. Well, my guides didn't tell me that. My guides told me souls can get expunged. They can. So I learned to just go within and trust within. So it just feels like needing more nourishment. So it's not like, it's just like it feels too surface for you, and you need to go deeper is what they're saying. Like you need to like dig into yourself and go deeper and sort of connect with your own guides. Go, okay, I've got this base knowledge now, this surface level knowledge. Now I need to go in with myself and with my own guides and have them sort of show me, and just learn to trust it and be like, it may not make sense to anybody else, but I'm cool with like knowing that there may be this part that maybe I'm the only one that's supposed to know right now. and be okay with that. It doesn't make you like weird or different or even extra special because they all got their information however they got it. I just find that there's too many things across the board and too many teachings across the board where like twin flames, everybody goes, oh, twin flame, blah. Like, again, I think some dysfunctional person came up with the idea and everybody else goes, yeah, sounds good to me. Like, just started going with it. I don't know. I just think that it doesn't resonate with me. I do think that some people have a greater connection than other people, but I don't necessarily think they're twin flamey. That's just me. But it feels like get real comfortable with like having your own thoughts and ideas and like being like more just with internally about it. I also feel like you need to drink more water. I know that like I even will look at like I know a lot of people don't like Joel Osteen and there's certain aspects of him that I don't like, but he does teach about manifesting and people are like, "Oh, he's a prosperity guy," but the idea of manifesting is in the Bible. And so he does teach about it. He's just reaching a different audience. So I try to find an appreciation for that. But I have learned lessons from him just because I don't necessarily like every aspect about him or think that there's not this good thing. Same thing with Doreen Virtue. She's gone back into be born again Christian. And just because I'm not like super on that train doesn't mean there aren't aspects of what she has out for her other stuff that you can't learn from. Okay, so take that as a validation, the fact that I felt like there's no water, that this other stuff is part of their wanting you to go deeper and go into your own stuff and go into your own meditations and connect with them directly and get the information from them, not just from outside of yourself. And you'll feel more nourished, spiritually speaking, and you'll feel more confident and you'll actually feel more connected and like you have this journey a little bit better. And Emily's second question is, do I see changes in love life over the next year? Okay. I hope that was helpful. I hope that waiting months and months and months was beneficial for you to hear that information. You thought it was going to be about animals? Why? What did you want to think it would be about animals? I don't know. I'm just curious. You know, you can do communication with animals. Like they're saying that you can do. There is no difference between communicating with animals, but you have like a little knack for it. Okay, Emily, sorry. Last question, guys. I'm ready for bed. This has been a long night. Changes to Emily's love life. Emily, I'm asking it this way because I'm not really sure. Like, it feels like I'm not in a relationship, but then I'm sort of getting that slight tug of like, I'm in a relationship, but there's a lot of disconnect. That's what I'm leaning towards, like just being in a, like not connected, a disconnected marriage or long-term relationship. You're welcome. Okay. I wish I could say I felt something coming in soon, but I don't. Because what I was going to say is if there's that disconnect, it just feels like really, again, working on yourself. And then, so to me, sometimes when somebody's in a relationship and there's a disconnect, it feels like they're not in a relationship. That's why I'm like, you're either not in one or you're not, or you're in one, but there's like this huge disconnect because it doesn't feel like I'm connecting with anyone. And yes, I can feel that for people who are legally married too, but there's just a disconnect. So I just keep getting by the end of the year, by the end of the year, by the end of the year. I do feel sadness around my, like, just, I feel kind of like when I sit there, I'm like, I just feel kind of sad. And it just feels like that, like I have like almost like a hopeless viewpoint of relationships, or like it's hard to connect. Wait, there's someone I like, but he has been a hot and cold and unclear about his feelings. Ah, let him go. Do you do you have that, like, that hopeless feeling around relationships, that it never works out for me? I never seem to find the right person. Let that man go, because here's the thing. By accepting his hot and cold and like waiting, what you're saying, putting out there to the universe energetically to any man coming along is, I don't deserve better. I don't need somebody who's fully going to make themselves available. I'll just take whatever the universe gives me. And you deserve better and you're worth more. So it's go to Roxy Talks. She's got a lot of really lovely self-confidence affirmations, self-respect affirmations, and do those daily. Do them for every day. Listen to them once through every day for like 3 weeks. Start working on affirming and changing your viewpoint of yourself. And if you say there isn't anything available to me in this geographic area, there isn't anything available. So it's sort of like, and then do the specific person affirmations and add in, like, even if it seems like there aren't a lot of options here, somehow the universe brings me the perfect person. Even if it seems as though, it's not like you're totally denying it. Like, I have so many choices. You're like, even if it seems like there aren't any, somehow I always have choice. There's always an option. There's always the good person out there for me. And they're coming in. I've met them and I'm so happy and all of that. But it feels like more towards the end of the year, like October, November. They go December. And it may be, and I know this sounds dumb, but you're exhausted with trying to do online dating. So don't. Stop and just date yourself. I know that sounds crazy, but like, people will treat you how you treat yourself. So if you treat yourself really well and you get into that mode of like, no, and it's not about buying yourself stuff. It's just like respecting yourself enough. Give yourself a break of the online dating for real. And then like go back to it in a couple of months, but start doing the affirmations and see if you get more quality people out there. Start doing the things where you kind of take yourself out to dinner, treat yourself with kindness, enjoy your own company, because the reality is if you don't really enjoy your own company and you get into a marriage or a relationship and it feels great at first, but then you get to that lull part, if you don't enjoy your own company, they're not really going to enjoy your company either. Like, it just doesn't, you've got to work on yourself. And I will keep telling everybody that, like, heal yourself, work on yourself, heal yourself, work on yourself. Change that thought process inside your brain, because even if you find a great relationship, and I said this earlier, and once you'll start to get back into that old thought process. Oh, they're just going to leave me. Oh, I'm not good enough. They're going to see that I'm not good enough. They're going to figure it out now. They've discovered it. You like myself pretty well. That's great. So then do the affirmations to bring in a specific person, to change how you bring them in. Because even if, as you say to me, like, I just don't have many options out here. Well, then that's exactly what you're putting out in the universe. That's what the universe is bringing you, not many options. So take a break to rewrite and to change the dialogue. Make yourself number one in your life, and others will feel the same about you. Exactly. but also change the dialogue. So, because even if I want to say this too, because like you can make yourself number one and think you're super confident or whatever, but there's still going to be these like nagging underlying things. So that's another thing you can put out into the universe is like, show me what it is, my belief systems that are keeping me or holding me back so that I can clear them and heal them. They'll pop up to you in quick little ways. All right. I hope that was helpful, Emily. I know it's not always, sometimes it's like, it's not what I wanted to hear. Then you'll look back and be like, it was actually kind of helpful. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good night. It's been a very long night. KK, thank you for hanging in here. Thank you for your extra comment there. It was very helpful. You always have good words. I hope you guys are doing well. Hold on. It'll be a good week. Don't anticipate it being bumpy. I think the 20th is going to be good for those of you in the United States. For those of you watching from outside of the United States, send us good juju from your countries. We can use it. Have a great week, and I will see you next Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a good one.